So who am I here with?
Ron Fleming,
Ronan Fleming, Cork man.
Cork man indeed. So Cork.
So Ronan, right? How long ago was it you reached out to me?
'Twas back in October, no.
Hmm,
Yeah.
back in October, right? So run me through it, right? What exactly was it that made you want to reach out to me in the first place?
Yeah, I guess like I'm doing a lot of work, like because you know yourself with the cost of living now, the way like Ireland and the UK has gone. It's jeez, I'm renting with the girlfriend and stuff, and I suppose it was kind of very hard, like to afford things. So I took up a second job, thinking I'd get ahead by doing that second job, like, but it really wasn't the case. Like, I was still only scraping by.
Yeah.
And yeah, just taxing in the body too, just doing all that work, I guess.
So you picked up a second job because of the cost of living. So what exactly were the two jobs you were doing then, Ronan?
Yeah, so look, I was working full time with a dairy farmer, and I would have been doing milk recording as well on the side. So I would have been doing that by evening time after work. Um, yeah.
Hmm. So what exactly was it then that made you want to pivot as a Cork man, right? Who's full-time farming, milk recording in the afternoons, pretty much on the side to earn extra money. What made you want to dive into, the online space and high ticket closing?
Yeah, I was always just curious, like I always just wanted to do more for myself that way, like and look, I was always just thinking 10 years time, where do I want to be? Like, I don't want to be like scraping by, like, struggling to pay a mortgage, like I suppose like just wanted to change the narrative like on that, like so I was just looking in for a while, like into different ways of going about things, like
Yeah, I get you. And for you, Ronan, man, obviously, right? You joined you joined the academy back in October, right?
yeah.
I guess for you, what was it that made you want to join? Because obviously, as a Cork man, I mean, like, were you not kind of skeptical about the online space?
Oh, absolutely. I was. No, fucking hell, I was. All right, like listening to you, all right, for a bit, like back and forth. Like, look, I suppose I saw your content, and I saw the relatability. Like, I saw that you came from a trades background as well. And look, you're just, you know, I presume you're a fellow Irishman as well, like and stuff. And I can see that, like, I could see the relatability. Look, so it just gave me a little bit of belief, like saying, could a farmer not do this as well? Um, so yeah, then yes, I reached out and
You see, because I remember when you reached out to me, Ronan, you were on a call with a different academy, right?
yeah,
And then you were on a call with me instead. So, like, what kind of sealed the deal for you then? Was it the relatability because I was in the street?
yeah, no, definitely the relatability, all right, because I didn't have that belief like for oil, and like you kind of gave me that belief like over like slowly, like talking back and forth a little bit because I presume that people working in these fields, like, would have to be from a background that they would have been quite academic, and I wouldn't be the most. Anybody that knows me, I wouldn't be the most academic lad at all, like, you know. But look, I got that bit of belief in like talking to yourself, like, for a bit.
It's funny you mentioned that. The amount of people that text me and be like, I don't think I'm smart enough for this. I don't know if I'll be able to do this. I didn't finish my leaving cert, so I didn't finish my GCSEs. So for you then, man, right? What was it then that actually gave you that belief then to know that you could do this? Were you going in blind just on my accord, or was there actually something then that made you realize, right, I can do this?
Absolutely, like it was just seeing the proof in the pudding, like you were doing it, but just that vision as well, like you really helped me, like build up the vision, like of the future, like and stuff. And then you were kind of showing me as well, like we were kind of discussing, and I was saying out loud admittedly, like, and I got that self-realization of where I was going with life. If I didn't try and make that change as well,
Hmm.
I compared the two. Look, it's a no-brainer. Like, you want to do well for yourself. If you're not happy with something, it does not make sense to change it. Like in that end,
So for you then, right? You came in October. What has the process been like for you in terms of the training so far then?
training. Yeah, look, it doesn't happen overnight. Like, you have
Hmm.
to work your ass off. And I was as green as ever. Like coming into this, I'm like every day. Like, you have to learn every day. Like even when you get a role, like you keep learning. Like, but yeah, it's amazing like how far you can go though, like in the space of 3 to 6 months, and how much more confident you can be, like,
Yeah.
in with regard to sales, like.
Hmm. Because obviously when you come in, right? You were timid. You were, you weren't the best. Well, not say, well, not the most confident person, right?
Yeah.
What do you feel like it was then that kind of changed for you then to build that confidence?
Just getting into reps, like, the more you do something, like, the more confident you're going to be, like, in
Hmm.
the day. Same as taking frees down the pitch, like, if you just expect to do it in the day, like, how do you expect, to have the balls to do it, like, you're going to be shitting the pants, but the more you do it, you stack that belief, like,
Would you say at the start that you were very uncomfortable then, coming into something new, coming from
oh,
a
absolutely.
background, like you said then as well, being skeptical at the start? So, like, where was your kind of mindset at coming into it at the start? Were you?
Going into it, oh, terrified, like, and those group calls and stuff, like, I thought fellas were going to eat me up, like, in them, like, and, and you were calling me out and stuff, like, in the group. Jesus Christ, I was shaking, like, um, yeah, look, it's just a matter of just going through it though, like, and you know, pushing past it, like,
So, two farming jobs, right? How long did it take you to land your first closing role?
that was only about 3 months now,
Three
three
months
months
then,
in.
right? And what sort of a closing role did you land?
Yeah, I'm working with like fitness influencers down near me, helping in weight loss, coming from actually a very similar background to myself as well, which is ideal. They come from agriculture, but the guy that does it, I have a lot of relatability with him
Hmm.
because I would have came from a similar background to where he once was. I would have been a heavy child as well, like kind of growing up, would have loved the food. Never wouldn't have been much good at running. I was back at the line, running at GA training and stuff. So look, there was great relatability there. So yeah, look, I got that there. Like, I got in the January with him, and no, I definitely believe in like what I'm trying to sell to people as well. Like, I really do
Yeah.
think it makes a great impact in their
So for
lives.
you, obviously you came in because I know before we talked, you were into the gym, you'd done a personal training course, and that was something you're interested in. Now, 3 months in, you've landed a closing role with probably one of the biggest online coaches in Ireland who actually helps farmers. Coming from a farming background yourself, it seems like a pretty ideal role to land in.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's just, do you know yourself? Like, I talk borderline English, like, so it's just I'm able to talk the lingo, though, all right, like to, people working in agriculture, truck drivers and stuff like that. So it is ideal that end, like.
So obviously, since you got this closing role, then what exactly has it changed for you then in terms of you said you had two jobs, the price of living? What exactly has it changed for you then so far?
Yeah, look, it's taken me out of them jobs, like, and I'm able to have a lot more time back to myself and even pressure on the body and stuff like that. Because when I first came, yeah, I'd gotten an injury there. Look, it was only with our second team in hurling, but we had a semi-final. I was looking forward to it. I was doing all right for myself that year, and that took away like that semi-final for me, like that injury from overloading the body. But just being able to kind of train right now and recover right, like, is huge, like, as well. But no, it's definitely given.
That's what's just been that's just the dream, right? Farmer GAA man. Now you're not slogging on the farm. Now you've got time to recover for the GAA. Focus on the hurling as well then.
Mm. Yeah, no, look, absolutely. Like, and look, I became a different person from it. Like, I've even signed up for a marathon there in June, like, because I just got that belief, like, from
Hmm.
doing one thing, like,
So would you say then, like, even when it comes to not only the academy but closing itself, right? It's helped you not only financially then, but actually like with self-development.
absolutely. Ah, the belief, like, you get in yourself, like, look, I'm a whole new person compared to the way I was, like, back in October, like, I'm
Hmm.
not perfect, like, but not, you're never going to be perfect, like, but Jesus Christ, like, the belief, like, I don't think anything is impossible, like, after this, like,
Beautiful. So you signed yourself up for a marathon as well.
yeah.
Unbelievable, man. I guess one thing, right? You told me like, well, not even that, brother. Like, what would you say was one of the biggest struggles you faced then, when you were getting into this and getting started?
Just that fear, really, like, for a little while, like, and I suppose you're surrounded with it as well, like, a lot of people that I'd be working with, like, they wouldn't have a clue this, like, or how it works and stuff. So it would make you question yourself, like, saying, and you are different to a lot of people, like, will this work and stuff like that. Like, you would have that mindset, of course, but it's about surrounding yourself around the right people. Look, and there's a great group of lads there, like, that I practice with online, like, and definitely call them, friends and lifelong friends and, brothers at this stage, like, as well, like, it really does help, like.
See, obviously for you coming from Cork, I don't know too many Cork men that do this, right?
Yeah.
Yes, for you, when it came to you being skeptical at the start, how did you overcome that then?
Yeah, look, I suppose like some very good pep talks with yourself. To be honest, like, again, it's just that belief, like, and you're never going to fully believe in yourself, straight away with anything you do. But you have to put a bet in yourself, like, to get there because if nothing changes, nothing changes, like.
Mm.
Um, so it's just about you're not always gonna like life isn't all sunshine and rainbows, like you're not gonna feel A1 like doing everything, but you have to do it regardless of how you're feeling. And then eventually that ch does change your mindset and mood, like.
See you coming from a farming background, right? Surely your parents are, wouldn't have a clue how this works. Probably even a bit frowned upon at the fact that you want to actually work on computers and not farm. So, what was that process kind of like with them?
Yeah, difficult at the start. I actually didn't say much at the start, like, because I just
Yeah.
knew like it'd be a bit of difficulty. But look, I am a blabber, like, and I would be quite close to my father, and we do talk a lot. So I ended up telling him, like, right in the end, and got a little bit of a fright. But look, he knew I was, I'm 25 years of age, like, I'm an adult, like, it's up to me to make my own decisions.
Mm.
But look, it's definitely a different story now. All right, he really does see the benefit. He understands what I'm doing, and he knows it's for the right reasons too, like, just to help other people as well. Transform their life that way, like.
Yeah, especially with this fitness offer, right? So for you, yeah, your parents weren't supportive at the start, but probably seeing you now being able to pack in the jobs, go at this full time, then it's probably opened their mind to it. Then would you say?
Ah, absolutely, it has, like, because the amount of time you have back for yourself as well. Like, I still go up and help him, like, and I enjoy it, like, because it's not an excess, like, because we've suppose it's a kind of a smaller farm there, but like, I have good chats with him, and he doesn't mind it like that way, like, it's the amount of time you do have back to yourself, like, in that end.
Yeah, because you worked two jobs and you were training and doing this and you got a role. You were taking calls all while working on your own farm at home, full time farming for another man, and you were doing the milk recording as well. So technically, right, three different jobs. How did
Hmm.
you manage time?
Oh, it was difficult, man. Look, you just have to really hold that vision strong still, like, to be honest, to get through it. Like, you have to just think about your future self, like, because, like, your future self will look back with gratitude, like, we're going through it. But look, there was nights there I would have been going off very little sleep, like 4 hours sleep, like, and stuff like that. So it wasn't easy, like, but it definitely was worth, like, at the same time, like, because it builds character, like.
So, what would your advice be to someone then who said that they don't have time to do this?
Well, that's bullshit, like, at the end of the day, there's always time, like, there's always
Bullshit.
time. Look, we're always going to believe what we tell ourselves, but if you tell yourself the right thing, you know, as well, like, it makes a difference, like, in that end, like, I would have told myself that before as well. I don't have time, like, but we're only lying to ourselves, like, we're only saying what we want to hear for ourselves, like.
Hmm. I guess for you, right? What advice would you give to someone who's maybe looking to get into this space and is kind of maybe on the fence?
Ah, sure, I'd highly recommend it. Like, you have to look at, like, to look at down the road, the cost. Look, you have to look at, like, how much it's costing you, like, not taking that action or not, making that change, like, because we're all gonna fucking die, like, so, like, what's the point in wasting time, like, I know for myself, I've wasted lots of time myself, like, and procrastination through the years, like, that way, like you were saying there, would have tried, like, learning. It was kind of more the strength and conditioning side there. I would have been learning a lot, like, and I was always scared, like, to even get into that field and stuff there, like, to be honest, like, I would have tried helping a little bit voluntary and stuff, like, but never really took the plunge, like, because it was all up here, like,
Yeah.
but you have to call yourself out in your bullshit as well, like.
So even when you're doing the PTing before this, then procrastination held you back a lot then too.
Oh, massively, like, because I tried it for a little bit, like, and I just pulled out, like, again, like, and I don't know why, like, but I was just making up excuses.
Hmm. So what do you think kind of clicked for you then to stop making excuses and to go fully in and commit to this?
I think it's just a case, like, that at a certain point, you just kind of get sick and tired of being sick and tired of the same life, and it's gone on for too long, like, and that was the case for myself, I think. And look, there was, I suppose, like, before I joined there with you, like, I hate to admit it, like, but back in October there, like, I picked up a bit of an injury and my flexibility was fucked, like, I was so sore, like, that's why I couldn't kind of play a match there at the end of the season. And I was looking forward to that match, like, 'cause it was going well, but it was fucking tears in my eyes, like, I was bawling, like, where I joined, like, and I was just saying I don't want that to be the case every single year because I became very injury prone, like, for a few years, like, and it was probably just being overworked, like.
So now, right? So now you're closing full time. Now you've got a role. Now that you're on this, 3K offer, for you then now have the freedom then to obviously recover more then when it comes to these matches then and recovery. You're not getting
Yeah,
injured as
no,
much.
no, absolutely, like, no, it's handy, all right, like, because you can work out your own schedule, like, around that, like, definitely.
Mm, beautiful. Well, Ronan, really appreciate the interview, brother. I mean, you've only been doing this 3 months, right? I guess for you, where do you want to see yourself now in 6 months?
6 months. Oh, I definitely want to like do a little bit of travel, definitely like and see another country, like because that, to be honest, I was denying that as well, like that was kind of a goal, really. Take the girlfriend out of work as well, like be able to replace her income, and it's definitely achievable now, like now that I can see it.
What country are you heading off to?
Hard to know. I might have to call out to you yet. We'll see.
We'll see you in Dubai shortly then.
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully.